What would your do-over be? I frequently see posts, if you were 14 again, what would you do differently? Have you seen those? Do you comment or think, what would I do differently? I do wonder about the mindset, the motivation of that person who posted it. Is the post just for fun? Maybe something that is still a struggle in life? Or does a person need some validation? I've been fortunate to learn of others' do-overs, sometimes surprisingly small changes. Can you imagine having a name that you absolutely didn't like to the point that you were depressed every time you heard it? That's what one lady finally told her pastor years ago as to why she was so depressed and rarely attended any community gatherings. Her name never felt like her. Do you have a name you would like? Pastor Jay asked her. Well, I've always wanted to be Minta. I like it. It feels like me. But it's too late. Why bother? If we could make that happen, would you like to be Minta? He replied. This lady lived in a community home and all the staff was on board with calling her Minta. They threw a little party for the residents there and reintroduced her as Minta. Name on the door was changed. They gave her a larger than usual name pin that said, "Hi, please call me Minta." It made all the difference to her. She attended events and participated. She figured out ways to have people frequently say, "Minta," and sometimes she giggled like a schoolgirl when she heard her name. Pastor Jay knew Minta had had many challenges in life, which she had overcome. He was amazed that what seemed like a very minor thing, not liking her name, had hindered her. By one tiny change, she blossomed. Could Minta have changed her mindset rather than her name? Perhaps. In a previous video, hold on, you have options with YouTube, I told the story of the African violet queen. One thing I did not mention in that video was the reason why Dr. Erickson didn't recommend therapy or medication for the lady who was depressed and withdrawn. I thought it would be easier to grow the African violet parts of her than weed out the depression, was what he told Bill O'Hanlon. It can be so easy to focus on the weeds instead of the flowers. What challenges have you faced and overcome? Your story could be that spark of inspiration for others, that spark of creativity and purpose. You have a full life. Can you share it with others who might need motivation? Understand how their mindset is hindering them rather than helping them. Years ago in a women's group, we were asked to share our most difficult challenge. The intent of that activity was, would we want to change places with another person? From the outside looking in other people's lives, sometimes those lives look absolutely amazing. The stories shared showed many hardships. The general consensus? No, we'll take our own challenges, thank you very much. However, one woman said she hadn't shared because she didn't feel like she had ever had any challenges in her life. There was an audible gasp from the women in that meeting. How could she not have had any challenges? She was in her late 40s. She explained that she never viewed life events as challenges. It was part of life, and she would deal with it, do her best, and keep moving forward. That's quite a mindset. Can you relate to that? For much of my life, I've tended to get myself mired down in the minutia. The one thing I would change, if a do-over was possible, not spend so much time at my job and spend more time with my daughter when she was young. I was a nurse for 45 years, usually working full-time with overtime, sometimes to make ends meet and sometimes to fill in when there were call-outs. My daughter had a cold, and colds can be miserable. I have to go to work today. There are a lot of sick people there I need to care for. But I'm sick too, Mommy. Oh, yes, that definitely would have been a do-over. However, instead of a do-over, maybe understanding that you do make a difference in others' lives. Sometimes you may not be able to connect the dots of how you influenced this one person, who then influenced another, who influenced another, and it kept going. One of my favorite books by Andy Andrews is The Butterfly Effect: How Your Life Matters. It starts with a day in 1863 to 1970, in a sense, asking who made the difference for 2 billion people. On page 104, your spirit, your thoughts and feelings, your ability to reason and act all exist in no one else. I hope you do celebrate your life's journey. If you don't yet, there's a worksheet you can grab for free, and I hope that will help you see just how wonderful you are. I'm so glad you popped in on this channel. I'm Jo Smith, encouraging you to think about things differently and to decide what you really want out of life, who you want to be, cheering you on for the life you deserve to create. Go for it. Don't let anyone or anything stop you.